Kinzinger of the great state of Illinois, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, good to see you on a Saturday. The vote on the leadership compromise immigration has slipped several times. Do you think there will be more support for this bill with a few tweaks next week?
Yeah, I really do. People are calling this the moderate bill. It's not I actually think this bill is more conservative, and it's certainly more in line with what the president outlined at the State of the Union. The president called for citizenship eventually for 1.8 million dreamers. But this bill guarantees $25 billion will be spent on the wall. There is no way to go back on that in future out years if Democrats, for instance, take over. If they go back on that funding, it ends everything else, so it's enforceable. This is a good bill. This is something that fixes all the stuff we're seeing right now that are kind of a big deal, the family separation issue. And my question for my Democratic friends, my Democratic colleagues is, what is it that you don't like? This deals with the dreamers.
Right. Is
it the border security? Do you not want border security? If you don't, just say it. Just say you don't want border security. But this is a good bill, and unfortunately, they're more interested in stopping buses in McAllen, Texas, which, by the way, I've worked that area as an Air National Guard pilot. The border is not secure there, than they are in actually coming with us and helping to fix this.
Well, to pick up on your point, it's automatically assumed Democrats won't vote for this immigration bill. I don't know. I mean, what is it about it? And do you think that means they just want the issue for the midterm elections over an actual solution?
I think some of them just want, I mean, Nancy Pelosi, for instance, just wants the issue. Some of them are kind of beholden to their left base, which is basically a Bernie Sanders base that's saying you can't work with Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the ultimate evil in their mind. And so they're unwilling to do it. And, you know, think about it. If there's 5 House Democrats that say, I like this and I'm going to vote for it, think of what would happen to them on some of the other networks and on some of the very left-wing news organizations and among their base. And so that's the pressure they're dealing with right now. But if you look at the details of this bill, it's very conservative. It comes along exactly with what President Donald Trump outlined at the State of the Union. And unless Democrats don't like border security, and they just need to say that, if they don't like border security, it has everything they want to.
The video we're seeing on the screen is protesters blocking buses there in McAllen, Texas. There's the red-hot issue of the family separation issue. Do any of your Democrat colleagues feel conflicted about voting no with that in this bill as well?
I'm sure they do. They won't say anything right now. This has just become such an extremely divisive issue. But again, talking about the McAllen area, first off, blocking a bus that is legally transporting people, okay, you know, that's kind of a violation of the law, but whatever. But secondly, again, I have worked the McAllen, Texas sector as an Air National Guard pilot doing border patrol in the air. It is not a secure area. There are Border Patrol agents that do their best, their very best. But there is constantly drugs and illegal immigrants that come over that border. So to protest there especially, instead of maybe helping to secure the border and then having compassion for all these people that are in these situations, is, I think, kind of ironic.
Congressman, should there be a political price to pay in November if Democrats don't participate constructively in addressing a critical issue like immigration reform?
Yeah, of course. I think there absolutely should be. Look, what we're putting, this bill that's going to be this week, is about an 80% issue. About 80% of Americans, when you outline what's in it, are supportive of this, Republicans and Democrats. If Democrats obstruct to this, and frankly, to some of my friends in, for instance, the Freedom Club or whatever, they need to come on board too because your constituents with these details want it. I think there is going to be, for Democrats, a price to pay if they're unwilling to work with us when the American people see what truly is in this bill.
Is there a political price to pay for your side if Republicans cannot pass an immigration reform bill? Democrats will probably be saying that, see that, Republicans can't govern.
I think it's quite possible that there's a unique issue with being in charge, which is you do have a responsibility to govern. And whether it's this child separation issue, immigration in the broad term, it's seeking or has the opportunity to derail us from all the great things that the tax cuts have been able to do, that deregulation has been able to do, and all the great things the President and Congress have been able to put into effect, including rebuild our military. It would be nice to get this done through the House. The Senate can do their thing then, but at least we're showing that we're willing to move forward and handle these issues, and we can do it as a party.
Final question. What do you say to some of your Freedom Caucus colleagues who sound like they're hoping this leadership bill does worse than the Chairman Goodlatte bill, which failed this past week?
You know, it's really kind of unbelievable. You know, I have some friends over in that Freedom Club, but for them to want this to fail. I think they have a long-term play on Speaker of the House or something like that. We all have to be united. There are some things in the last bill that I didn't like, but I voted for it with the team. There's some moments we have to come together with the team, and I would just desperately ask my friends in the Freedom Club to come over and join us in this.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger joining us from the land of Lincoln. Thanks for your time. See you back on the Hill.
Take
Laura?
care.
All right, Mike. Well,